Rattled by India's economic rise under the Modi government to become the fourth biggest global economy, Xi Jinping's CCP now has taken a huge step to torpedo the rise of the Indian auto and car manufacturing industry and thus cripple India's economic rise as a major geopolitical rival. According to World Population Review, India has overtaken traditional powerhouses including Germany and South Korea to become the fourth biggest car manufacturing nation. This has got China worried, despite being the largest car maker in the world. The United States is in the second spot, manufacturing about 10 million cars annually, which is about one-third of China. Japan is in the third spot, manufacturing 9 million cars annually, while India is in the fourth spot, manufacturing nearly 6 million cars annually. But all that might change with China's latest move to monopolize car manufacturing in Asia. In CCP's latest attack, it has now banned exports of rare earth magnets, which is vital for car manufacturers as they are used in electric motors, steering, speedometers, brakes, sensors, auto transmission kits, as well as ignition coils in engines. Without these rare earth magnets, entire supply chain could collapse. According to this article in the Times of India, auto industry leaders have told the government that China's move could lead to a halt in manufacturing of certain car models as early as next month. The article claims China's reasons for banning exports is that these rare earth magnets, which are dual use in nature, are not used in weapons manufacturing. But is China hiding behind this excuse to actually monopolize the market as well as torpedo the industries of its major rivals, including India? And is there a solution? Is there a way out of this crisis? Let's take a detailed look. Relations between India and China hit an all-time low after the 2020 Galwan Valley border clashes, and the trust deficit has never truly healed. Beijing continues with its aggressive posturing against India, especially after Indian military's deep strikes inside Chinese puppet state Pakistan to eliminate multiple terror camps under Operation Sindoor. Now, after China's rare earth magnet ban, Indian automakers have made and raised serious concerns. Major companies at risk include Maruti, Hero Moto, TVS and Bajaj Auto, and they are currently trying to get clarity over obtaining end-use case statement from the government. Hyundai and Kia of South Korea are also said to be impacted. Even after holding discussions with the Embassy of China in India, the automobile industry has not yet arrived on any agreement. The clock is ticking fast for the vehicle production industry, which is struggling with shortage of these materials, as it will now require an elaborate approval from the Chinese ministry. Many consignments for India are already stuck at Chinese ports after this new rule, as per a report by Economic Times. On the other hand, India's Heavy Industries Minister H.D. Kumaraswamy confirmed on the 2nd of June that the government was preparing to send a delegation of industry executives to China in a couple of weeks to discuss this issue with the authorities in China. But what is a rare earth magnet, and why does Indian industry depend on China for it? They have a wide range of use and are not only essential for production of automobiles but are also used in clean energy production as well as home appliances and in the defense industry as well. Essentially, they are neodymium iron boron magnets, and China controls 90% of global processing capacity for these rare earth elements. Even a minor shortage of these magnets affects assembly lines. Now, India imported 460 tons of rare earth magnets from China in just the last fiscal year. Further escalating the global trade war, the export restrictions on these rare earth elements were first placed by China on the 2nd of April in a direct response to Donald Trump's tariff hike on most Chinese products to 54%. However, China decided to impose such an export ban to cover India as well. The first step out of this crisis is for Chinese exporters to obtain government licenses and detailed end-use certificates from Indian buyers before shipping. Weaponizing its dominance over mining and processing of critical materials and minerals, China's outright ban on rare earth magnets has disturbed the entire value chain across passenger vehicles, two-wheelers, as well as commercial vehicles. So does India have an alternative? According to Business Standard, the ministry called a high-level meeting of industry stakeholders on the 3rd of June to finalize a concept note for a new scheme aimed at promoting the domestic manufacture of rare earth magnets. In fact, Ministry of Heavy Industries is stepping in to reduce India's dependence on Chinese imports. The government aims to offer targeted financial incentives to companies entering the sector to set up rare earth processing and magnet production facilities. By identifying alternative international sources for raw materials to diversify supply chains, the government is deliberating to provide incentives to public-private partnership. Meanwhile, India's top-selling car maker, Maruti Suzuki, has played down fears of China's export curbs. While speaking to the Reuters on the 1st of June, Rahul Bharti, Senior Executive Director, Corporate Affairs of Maruti Suzuki, had said, quote, "It is not a restriction, it is an endorsement of end use. In case there is an issue, we will inform all our stakeholders, including the stock exchange," unquote. However, sources revealed to Reuters that Maruti might be forced to stop production of one of its car models in early June itself if the magnet issue is not resolved soon. TVS Motors MD Sudarshan Venu, during conversation with CNBC, asserted, quote, "The impact of the ban will begin to reflect in production by June or July. We are actively exploring ways to de-risk the situation, but there could be cost increases down the line," unquote. Last week, during its Q4 FY25 earnings call, Bajaj Auto warned of the looming crisis, describing it as a dark cloud on the horizon and cautioning about production risks as early as next month. Now, CCP's tactic is not new. Even in January this year, China imposed an export ban to directly hit India's smartphone manufacturing rise, though the impact on that sector and that move has been minimal so far. Now, the Chinese Communist Party has shown it will use economic tactics to advance its own geopolitical and military clout. Even as China's deception game continues, Russia is pushing India to restart the Russia-India-China or RIC trilateral mechanism. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov stated just last week that it's the right time for the revival of the RIC troika, especially after an understanding between India and China on how to ease the situation on the border. Lavrov announced, quote, "I would like to confirm our genuine interest in early resumption of the work within the format of the Troika, Russia, India, China, which was established many years ago," unquote. The Russian minister is likely to take up the issue with India during his visit in June to finalize the agenda for the upcoming India-Russia summit that will see President Vladimir Putin visit India for the first time since the Russia-Ukraine war started in February 2022. However, given China's economic aggression, any revival of the RIC seems like a distant dream. While officially, even China endorses greater cooperation with India, on the other, it continues to attack Indian manufacturing sectors. Chinese salami slicing attempts have been halted by the Indian Army at the LAC, but CCP continues its economic arm twisting. Beijing also continues to provide weapon systems to Islamabad and is even rushing its newest J-35 stealth fighter jets to Pakistan to counter India's military rise. China also continues to poke and provoke India on the issue of Arunachal Pradesh and Tibet. China's actions speak louder than words. Why it is important for the Indian government and the auto industry to reach an immediate understanding with China. In the long run, it is essential for India to end such supply chain dependence on Beijing. It is high time for India to seek economic decoupling from China, which will not only provide Bharat strategic independence, but also an opportunity for Indian firms to grow and flourish under the Make in India initiative. But what do you believe? Can India ever trust China? Leave a comment with your opinion, hit the like button, and subscribe to Inconnect News.